Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Braylon, and today I'm sitting down to talk to you guys about the Aries full moon that's happening later tonight on September 24th. Right now, the moon is still in late degree Pisces, 27 degrees Pisces, but the moon is going to get closer and closer until it's zero. Well, the full moon is at 1 degree Aries, while the sun is at 1 degree Libra. So we've got an opposition again here, guys. We have this every month, an opportunity for new beginnings and endings and completions when the full moon here is definitely symbolic for things like that. I think this is really special because we just had the fall equinox last night, which was all about harvesting, and now we have the harvest full moon. So we're going to talk a little bit about Aries energy, and I'm going to channel a little bit about this moon, and then of course at the end of the video I'm going to pull a tarot card for guidance for the full moon in Aries for all 12 zodiac signs. So Aries is the first house of self in astrology. So the reason why this moon is so important is because Aries kind of starts the whole zodiac wheel off. We have 12 different houses in astrology, and Aries is the first house. So Aries is already symbolic for new beginnings and endings. So full moons are kind of opposite energy of that. Full moons bring energy to completion. So I have heard a few astrologers talk about this energy in a way that this energy is kind of opposite for Aries. This is going to be very fiery energy, guys, right? And the fact that the moon has now traveled full in all of our signs, so everyone watching has now experienced a full moon for 2018, I would say, 2017, 2018. The real new year starts on March 20th when the sun enters Aries. But what all I know is when the moon is full in Aries, that means that Taurus has had a full moon, Gemini has had a full moon, all these signs have had a full moon. Pisces is the last house of the universe, so that was the final close. And now we're moving back to Aries, full moon, number one. We start over, fresh new beginnings, guys. The Fool card. And then Taurus will have a full moon next month, and then Gemini, and then the moon will make its way full again. So I think this is just really symbolic for new beginnings with self, because Aries rules everything about self. Aries is the Emperor card in tarot, so this is definitely about authority, you guys. Since this is a harvest moon, harvest is about, going out to seek your crop and things like that. So this is like a self harvest. It reminds me a lot of the Ten of Wands energy, because in the Ten of Wands there's a guy who's kind of gathering up all these wands, because this is definitely a fiery completion, and the Ten of Wands is also a fiery completion. So I've been seeing the Ten of Wands come out a lot, and I think it's because of the energy collectively right now. We're all working really hard. Virgo season was a lot of hard work to kind of gather up all this wheat, gather up all our crops. We had the fall equinox. Now we have the harvest full moon. And I feel like this is kind of an emotional harvesting. Like, it's very important right now that we kind of gather up all of our emotions, and really step into our authority. This could even be a soul harvest, because the moon symbolizes our feelings, our soul, our what we hide, right? So perhaps there's an identity that's going to reveal itself to all of us with this Aries full moon, like an alternate ego or something like that. I just know that it's really important around this time to know exactly who we are inside, no matter who other people think we are, no matter who we've been. It's just really important that we're identifying ourselves in a new way, because we've already traveled around the zodiac wheel a complete circle. So now, based off of everything you've learned over the last year, since we only have one full moon in Aries a year, and it's always in Libra season. So what have you learned about yourself over the past 6 months, over the past year? What can you learn from the sun in Libra about what we have awareness right now of balance, and then we have some hidden subconscious awareness of who we are when it comes to the relationships we're in, because we have an opposition between Libra and Aries. The moon in Aries and the sun in Libra, it's giving us awareness of relationships and how we can further balance those things, fairness, equality, and then on the opposite end of that we have the I am. So Libra is kind of the we are, and Aries is the I am. So with this energy, I always make sure to talk a little bit about how we stand firm in our relationships, and how we don't how we shouldn't allow our identity to become swayed in relationships. You know how it is when some people get in relationships, they kind of lose touch of who they truly are. So this energy is definitely being brought up with Aries and Libra. because this is the first house of self. So this is the one chance a year. The full moon in Aries is when we can focus our emotion and our completions all around us. Like, it is kind of okay to be selfish around an Aries full moon, because this energy is definitely focusing on self and who we are as individuals. This is cardinal fire energy. So whenever we have a full moon in a cardinal sign, the full moon is going to bring, it's going to compel us to certain action, right? We have mutable signs, cardinal signs, fixed signs, and the next moon will be in a fixed sign. So when we have a Taurus full moon, I don't know if I said new moon, but it's definitely a full moon. We have a Libra new moon in a couple of weeks. But right now we're focusing on the Aries full moon energy, completions, passionate completions, emotional completions. And this isn't going to be like every other moon, guys. This moon is significant and different because it's the first house. This is making it even more new, right? And like I said, Aries is more of a starting energy. Aries is more of a charging forward energy. This is more of a, I wouldn't say it's a slowing down energy, but this is about completing things, bringing things full circle. And Aries is more, it's the zero, right? It's the Fool card in tarot. It's the first house. So completions are usually last, right? Completions are usually the end of something, and Aries is the beginning of something. So this is an opposition here. This is definitely bringing balance. Aries energy is so important to the universe. It's the only house where we can really focus on who we are and the I am, right? So we can definitely, a good thing to do with this energy, guys, is light candles for sure, because this is a fire sign. So candles are really important to do any rituals or anything like that, to set your intent for light and passion and expression. That's what all this fiery energy is about. Aries can be a bit of a hot-headed sign sometimes, so we do want to be careful of, and it's not necessarily Aries, but it's Aries energy in the universe and what it represents. Like, Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, so we just want to be very careful of lashing out emotionally right now, because this is going to be a really, really intense full moon. Our emotions, we don't want to act erratically, or we don't want to act irrationally with our emotions, because of the full moon being in Aries. We really need to take authority over our emotion. Authority is a huge word to come up for this Aries full moon, because Aries is all about authority, having self-authority, right? It's cool to have authority over other people, but it's real power, it's real authority to have self-control. So I feel like this is self-control over our emotions, knowing how to move forward passionately. We are going to be compelled to action, guys, with this full moon in a cardinal. Whenever there's a full moon in Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra, it's all about cardinal energy. These cardinal signs would like to move forward. So Aries wants to move forward in a passionate way, which is why they're always expressing themselves in a forward way. People think Aries are blunt, but Aries, in a way, they know who they are more than any other sign. And they know what they want because they're ruled by the head and they're a ram, right? So this is about charging forward. I think this moon is going to be like a passionate catapult. This is going to really, really change our lives because it's the first house. So the moon we had last month was in Pisces, the 12th house, and that really brought certain things to spiritual completion. That is an energy that needs to happen before this passionate Aries self can come in. Before Aries is Pisces. Like, we have to sacrifice the parts of us that are no longer serving before we can get into a strong energy like Aries and charge forward towards what we want passionately. So this is definitely about knowing who we are, taking authority about that, stepping back into our emotional authority. This is like knowing who we are at a soul level, guys. Around this time of year, there's so much that changes. There's so many things that, move in the universe, a lot of different planetary influences. But we can use these full moons and these new moons every month to complete and begin certain things in our life. So 2 weeks ago on the new moon in Virgo, I wrote down my intentions. So on February, on September 9th, a couple weeks ago, we had that Virgo new moon. And for those of you who have watched my videos, or for those of you who are spiritual watching, maybe you done, because the new moon is about setting intent, right? So the intent that we've set, not only since the 9th, but since this whole year, since basically around this time last year, all the intent that we have set, especially self-intent, intent that we have set by ourselves, these are some of the things that we're going to see come to completion and come to fruition now. And sometimes we do these things subconsciously, right? The moon is a very subconscious force. So this is about what's hidden underneath, who we are in here, who we are. There's even aspects to ourselves that we can hide from ourselves, which is I find very interesting. So I'm really looking forward to this energy. It's really great to know where Aries is in your chart. If you are an Aries, or sun, moon, or rising, then this is your soul, this is your spirit, this is your awareness. For me, my Aries energy is in my third house. I don't have any planets in Aries, but I do have a third house Aries. So for me personally, and for any of you out there who are watching with an Aries third house, this is all about communication for me in my birth chart. This is all about even short distance travel. So I'm really looking forward to anything that starts passionately in regards to communication and my mind. Even if I'm led to travel short distances, I'm going to embrace that. But as a Pisces, this is happening in my second house of finances. So we are going to talk about that here in a little bit, guys. I just want to really reiterate and express how important it is. If you don't do anything else on this full moon, please just passionately express who you truly are. That is an Aries energy. Aries is all about being the emperor, right? Having control over entire empires, right? And going after what you want because it makes you feel good. Going after your desires. This is a very King of Wands energy. So visions and manifestation, very powerful around this time. And guys, I mean, what better time than to use this energy for ourselves, right? Anything that we want to see manifest for ourselves. And it depends on where these energies are happening for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into further detail about where it is for us as the zodiacs. And you can kind of use this energy to help assist you and further guide you towards what this full moon can bring to completion. Now, as I mentioned briefly before, this is really, really a time of new beginnings and completions because Aries energy handles endings and beginnings differently than any other sign because they're the first house of astrology, the first house. So with an energy like that, there's just certain, I'm not sure the word, it's just perseverance, you know what I mean? It's just determination. Like this is such a cardinal energy. The determination to stand and firm and be who you are and go after what you want, what you desire, and manifest it even, and visualize it, create it, being a leader passionately, being a leader creatively, and having the courage, right? The King of Wands has a lot to do with courage and confidence is what I meant, confidence. So this is a confident energy. We need to be confident at a soul level now, guys, to harvest all these things in that we're basically reaping what we sow. Any seeds that we have planted metaphorically are definitely going to be coming to sprout. So, you know, with Aries energy for me, what I basically focus on is who we are, who I am, who you are. So who are you really, right? As long as we're stepping into our authority, as long as we're stepping into our higher self, because every year around this time, Aries energy, whenever anything comes and goes into Aries, it's an opportunity to learn more about collective self, who we are as a collective. You know, not just who you are as far as the name you were given when you were born, because that's not who you really are. Who you really are can only be passionately found inside you. Why do you think Aries is a fire sign? Why do you think Aries is the emperor, right? Because no one can tell you who you are. No one can tell the emperor who he is, right? Only the emperor knows who he is. So this is about stepping into our authority with our own will, not because we're being told to or controlled or anything like that, but because we want to and because it's necessary and because we desire it, right? That's one thing with Aries energy is that there has to be a desire there. There has to be passion. There has to be some sort of form of expression, right? So who knows what the universe has in plan for these energies? I just know that the universe uses these energies every month. Things change a little bit from new moon to full moon. But this is fire energy, guys. So this is definitely a great time to do spiritual burnings, which I will be burning my new moon in Virgo paper for the full moon in Aries. So yeah, guys, it's just a time to embrace endings and new beginnings, especially the endings and new beginnings that happen over the next, well, I would say 3 days, but also from now until the Libra new moon in 2 weeks. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of changes heading into October, okay? And for me personally, on a spiritual level, I'm just really ready to step into my true self, the me that I've evolved into. I love Aries energy because it allows us to do these things. And like I said, who knows how the universe is going to affect us all. But I feel like all going to be personally affected by this full moon because Aries rules self. So there's really no way to, go around this energy. So this month, or for this video, I'm going to be using a deck that I have not used very often. I've only used it one time. It's a Wiccan deck. And the reason I'm using this is because I actually got these cards as a gift from an Aries. So I thought it'd be really cool. Now, they're very interesting cards, guys. They're oracle cards, and they're very different, but it involves all the elements. Wicca is not evil or anything like that. Wicca is magic, okay? So we're going to invoke some magic with this fiery energy, this passionate, manifesting energy. Excuse me. So, yeah, I thought it would be great to involve all the elements and the pinnacle with Wiccan energy. And some of these cards are really deep. So, hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm really going to use this as an opportunity to learn more about my Wiccan cards. It's just better. The more and more you use cards, the more you can memorize them. I do not have these memorized. They're very, very interesting cards. So I'm going to read from the book. So the messages are going to be a little bit longer this time, guys. Hopefully you don't mind, but I want to read from the book for each sign. Each sign is going to get a message that I read for them. This is what the cards look like. They're really awesome and pretty. So these messages are just going to help us understand these completions even more, right? They're going to help us understand this new form of self that we're gaining. I feel like Aries energy is always an opportunity to learn more about yourself. So we're going to be, there's a identity we've been using, guys, that has reached a completion, right? It got subconsciously released last month in Pisces. So now that we're at the full moon in Aries, it's really time to step into a whole new identity. Okay, stepping into a whole new identity, a better one that resonates more, a more authentic one is the right way to say that, a more empowered version of ourselves. Okay, that's exactly what this full moon in Aries is bringing. Keep in mind the moon is our emotion, right? So we need to take control of our emotion, have emotional authority, because there's going to be certain things that come up, guys. In this Aries full moon, if any Aries are watching, maybe you guys can comment below and let us know how you react, to things when people try you. That's one thing I admire about Aries, is that they'll tell you exactly how they feel because they know who they are and they don't give a fuck who you are. So I love Aries energy for that. And we're all going to be feeling that over the next couple days strongly. And I'm going to send out a little bitty prayer for all of us here on Earth, because there's going to be certain aggression that comes out. There's a low vibration of Aries, and then there's a high vibration. High vibrational Aries know who they are. High vibrational Aries are very passionate, even very psychic. They're very expressive, and they're leaders, right? They're authority. They have authority. But when you use Aries energy for a low vibration, it can be arrogant. It can be ego-based. It can be selfish a little bit. So, you just want to be careful, because the moon is the shadow. So we have some shadow, but it's full. So the shadow of our universe is being filled with light for Aries. So there's just a lot of awareness we're going to gain about who we are, about who others are. I've been doing a lot of realizing people's true character. That's one thing that you can thank Aries energy for. Every time you realize who somebody is, every time you realize who you are, you can thank Aries energy for that. That is definitely Aries energy. So lots of new beginnings and endings coming, guys, especially because this is a very rare full moon. This is a harvest that we're all harvesting for ourselves. So I'm interested to see what messages come up, and I am going to be reading. So just bear with me. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And of course, we're going to start with the first sign, which is Aries. Aries, this is your first house. So this is really significant for any Aries risings watching, or Aries suns. Aries moon, this is very important for you too, because you were actually born when the moon was in Aries. It might not have been full, but your soul is Aries. So if there's any Aries moons watching, shout out to you guys. You're actually the physical representations of this energy and how it's being brought as below, as above, so below. So Aries, this should be pretty easy for you guys to understand. This is a full moon about cycles of self-completing. So for you, Aries, more than any others of us, there's definitely a cycle that you need to end. Like you're going to gain awareness about yourself, okay, about this new self, about And maybe it has something to do with authority, but this energy is your first house of self. So this has everything to do with who you are. It has everything to do with your identity, who you identify as, and the I am. So what I suggest for all of us is just taking out a piece of paper and writing I am blank. I am blank. This is about stepping in to the subconscious awareness of who we are. So we're going to shuffle here, Aries, and we'll see what card comes out for you. And we're going to be learning these energies together, because I haven't even read about all these cards yet, because they're very rare. I don't use them very often, but I felt very led to use them for my Aries video. So what is the message for Aries for the full moon in Aries on September 24th, 2018? Aries full moon message for Aries. What is the message for Aries for this full moon? Aries full moon, September 24th, 2018 for Aries. And that's another thing, guys. These cards, they're very, very spiritual. They feel different than any other cards I've ever used. And I have a few oracle decks. But you just have to be patient, because this involves all the elements, right? Okay, so there we go. And the card out for you, Aries. Oh, wow. This is the card number 16. So I'm not sure if 6 plus 1, 7, if this number 7 means anything to you guys, but we have the 16. I'm pretty sure this card is called the Fates. This is a card of karma. So interesting, Aries. This is definitely about some sort of wheel and cycle for you. So let's read here for you. This number 16, huh? Yes, this card is called the Fates. So if the fates allow, that's what it reminds me of, is that Christmas song. What is the words of that song? If the fates allow. Anyways, so this is called the Fates card, all right? And known by many names, the three fates spin, measure, and cut the thread of life. They determine how long your lifeline will be and what you will make of the time on earth. While you make your own choices from day to day, the moment to moment, while you make your own choices from day to day and moment to moment, the larger tapestry of your destiny is in the hands of the wise ones who see it in its entirety. Aligning yourself with the destiny leads to great success. So the meaning of this card is that there are larger forces at work in the present situation. Fighting against what seems inevitable is not constructive now. You are being guided towards the truest and highest purpose, which may not be revealed until a later date. Go with the flow, Aries. So some of you may also, because I'm going to read this card upright and reverse. So for some of you who are feeling on the darker end of this, sometimes it feels like the fates do not have your best interest at heart. Look for the lessons in tough times and know that they will spin around to a more positive direction soon. This reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune. So the key word here, Aries, is destiny, karma, and choices. Okay, so some of you guys are really dealing with destiny. It makes so much sense because this is a full moon in your sign. Lots of completions and karma, stuff like that. And I want you guys to say this part with me. Each of these cards come with an affirmation. So the affirmation with this card is, I am aligned with the true nature of my destiny. I am aligned with the true nature of my destiny. So Aries, I know you guys like a challenge, right? And Aries always likes a challenge. So there is a challenge that comes with this card. And the challenge is, if your life ended tomorrow, what would you regret? So there you go, Aries. That's some energy for this full moon for you. If your life ended tomorrow, what would you regret? And this is about your destiny. This is about your karma. And this is about your choices. And this is about the three fates that spin and measure and cut the thread of life. So this is very Wheel of Fortune to me. This is a very karmic full moon for you, Aries. And I think this has to do with, you know, your who you're destined to be, right? Who you are karmically. So hopefully there's something in there that helped you out, Aries. You know, this is your full moon, so you're definitely going to be feeling this energy. And yeah, hopefully that resonated and was some help to you guys. So let's move on to Taurus. Let's see what the message for Taurus is for the Aries full moon in September 24th, 2018. Aries full moon 2018 for Taurus. What is the message for Taurus? Aries full moon for the sign of Taurus, September. Okay, Taurus. So you got the card 13, and we have this pentacle here at the bottom, and we know pentacles matter to Taurus, right? That physical, material gain and worth. So check this card out. Definitely a Halloween feel. Some of you guys are definitely in that Halloween vibe. So pretty sure this is Sam Hain's energy. Sam Hain, which is the true meaning of Halloween. I just read this card. Yeah, this is Sam Hain's energy. So Taurus, this message is about the Aries full moon for you. This is your 12th house, Taurus. So Taurus, this moon, 12th house moons are very powerful. You have a full moon in the sign right behind you. Aries is the sign that comes before you. So on the zodiac wheel, it's right behind you. And this is happening in the area of your house of release, house of sacrifice, self-undoing. So it's interesting that Aries is the house of self, but for Taurus, Aries is the house of self-undoing. So very, very interesting there, Taurus. This is about your subconscious. This is a dreamy energy, right? The 12th house is a very weird and strange house. It's a spiritual house. It's the house of like asylums and churches. So if you're feeling a little bit deep, if you're having dreams or anything like that around this time, Taurus, totally not shocking, because you have a full moon in your 12th house. So when you have a full moon in your 12th house, there's so much that comes to subconscious awareness. Like there's the moon, which controls our subconscious, is in the 12th house of the subconscious for you, Taurus, but there's a lot of light being shed there. So any secrets or anything that comes up from the surface at a subconscious level, I would definitely embrace it. And we've got quite an interesting card here for you, Sam Hain. So let's read about this. This is October 31st. It's interesting that it's the 13, because that's the number 4. So intuitively, this could have something to do with your guys' foundation. I'm not sure. We'll see how that resonates. But this is talking about the Celtic cross quarter holy day that welcomes the beginning of winter, right? So this is about welcoming the beginning of winter, Taurus, even though it's, a season away. It's not quite winter yet. We're just approaching fall, but it is a time where the veil is thin between the worlds of the seen and the unseen. The ancestors and spirits of the dead are honored. Their wisdom and messages are sought. Jack-o'-lanterns light the path for those who travel through the veil and protect against any evil or mischievous spirits that might also be abroad. The ancestors are offering guidance. Watch for the unexpected messages in dreams, chance encounters with strangers, or voices that whisper through the wind. You have nothing to fear in the dark. Okay, Taurus, this is a very dark time. And it's interesting that it said watch for messages in your dreams, because I believe that's why this card came up for you, because you're dealing with 12th house dream energy. So for some of you guys who are not feeling on the up and up about this card, it can go in the reverse way, which means some of you guys might be spooked out, perhaps on a subconscious level. Taurus, perfect card for you. You may be spooked on so this moon may bring up certain weird, creepy, spooky stuff subconsciously, right? You guys might be feeling a little uneasy. So do an inner journey to find perspective with your ancestors to help you interpret your fears. So if there's any fears coming up for you, Taurus, you really want to interpret them. Write your fears down around this time. There's something significant about Halloween here. And the key words here are mystery, perfect word for the 12th house, ancestors, and deepening. So this is such a perfect card to come out for you, Taurus, because the 12th house is very deep, it's very mysterious, and those are the key words in this card. But your ancestors are also coming up here. So, for those of you who believe in past lives and in spirit guides, it's a great time for this full moon to really allow those energies to help you step into this part of yourself, right? We have to relate this to ourselves, since this is an Aries full moon. So the affirmation that you say with this card is, I embody the wisdom of my ancestors. I embody the wisdom of my ancestors. So the challenge here, Taurus, is what do the spirits of the dead require of me? That's what you want to ask yourself. What do the spirits of the dead require of me? So as far as me channeling anything about this, guys, it's very Halloween. It's very Sam Hain energy, trick or treat kind of energy. So is it a trick or is it a treat, Taurus? And that's what you're going to be kind of discovering about yourself, and this is about you at a subconscious level, Taurus. So what do I mean by that? The parts of you that you hide, right? The parts of you that you keep deep at a subconscious level, the you that you dream of being, the you that you're too afraid to be, right? You're stepping into that. So hopefully that helped, Taurus. Okay, let's start with Gemini now. The 3rd house of our universe. What's going on for Gemini with this Aries full moon? Gemini, this is happening in your 11th house. which is the house of friends and groups and community. So Gemini, this is about who you are in front of groups of people. If you guys are ever in front of groups of people, this is about who you are. Which, as a dual sign, I feel like all of us have identity crisis. So this full moon is really going to help Libra, Pisces, and Gemini really combine their light and their dark in their duality to kind of form as one, which is what Libra will help us with. And so what we wind up with in a couple of weeks is a very balanced, merged state of self. But for you, Gemini, as I mentioned, this is about who you are in front of groups of people, who you are around your friends, you know, who you are when it comes to the community. So this is about your community self, your humanitarian self. This is 11th house energy. So Gemini, what is the message for you for the Aries full moon in September 2018? Aries full moon for Gemini. Way too many. But we did have the ace, not the Ace of Swords, but it looks like the Ace of Swords, but that was way too many cards, Gemini. But that was a very strong air energy, so let's shuffle until we can get one card. Okay, we have the 31, and I love this card. I'm not sure what this card is called, but we have 30 here at the bottom of the deck, and then we have 31. What you have, Gemini, is the Chariot of Fire. So it's really interesting to get this card because this is an Aries full moon and we have so much fire going on in our universe right now. So this is about very fast forward movement. It's like the Chariot card in tarot, but this is the Chariot on fire. So not only are you moving forward, Gemini, but you are moving forward with passion. So talk about cardinal energy, right? And it's the number 31, so I don't know if September 31st is going to be an important day for some of you guys where something really starts moving forward. Or maybe Halloween for you guys, October 31st, 3 plus 1 is 4. So Chariot of Fire. Let's read about the Chariot of Fire, Gemini. So the solar chariot, the solar chariot blazes across the sky, drawn by 2 fiery horses. Their daily ride through the heavens symbolizes success and perseverance, pushing through any obstacle to achieve a desired goal, Aries. The way through is made clear. All roads are opened and obstacles cannot stand against the force of the celestial steeds. So Gemini, the way forward has been made clear by you, okay? All roads are opened and obstacles cannot stand against you. The meaning of this card is that the time for contemplation is over. No more contemplating, Gemini. That's why the Ace of Swords wasn't meant for you, because you've done a lot of contemplating about where you want to go. Take the reins of your life in your own hands and take action immediately. Your boldness will be rewarded by good fortune. This is such a powerful Aries energy coming for you, Gemini. And we have these 2 horses. 2 horses just like you have 2 twins, right? So I feel like this is you. And you're just on fire right now. You know, not only are you moving forward, but you're moving forward on fire. You're expressing yourself as you move forward, and there's no obstacles in your way, Gemini. So for those of you who are struggling a little bit, I'm going to read the reverse message. Someone or something is stampeding over your ideas and trying to take charge. Don't let yourself be run over by a forceful situation. So be very careful with forceful energies. Remember I was talking about the darker side of Aries. Be careful of people who are trying to like stampede over you, right? Over your ideas, trying to take charge. There's going to be a lot of challenging authority. I didn't even mention that, but this moon is squaring Saturn, and so is the sun. So I guess I'll mention that when I write about this moon later. But Gemini, yeah. Don't let yourself be run over by a forceful situation. So the key word here is action, will, and forcefulness. Doesn't get any more Aries than that. Action, will, and forcefulness. This moon is all about action and forcefulness. You guys may need to take forceful action with something. So what you say with this card, Gemini, is I am filled with courage and confidence. Such an Aries card. I am filled with courage and confidence. But the challenge here, Gemini, is where in your life are you moving too slowly? That's a problem for Aries energy. Where are you moving too slowly, Gemini? And if you figure that out, then sometimes we have to figure out where we're moving too slowly before we can figure out why, if that makes sense. So you need to just do some reflecting on that, if there's anything that's moving too slow for you, and then maybe some obstacles will be revealed to you when you do that. So hopefully that helped, Gemini. That was your 11th house. So Cancer, you're a cardinal sign, right? So you're going to be feeling this energy as a cardinal sign. You're going to be compelled to action. This is your 10th house. So perhaps you're going to be compelled to action in a career way. This has everything to do with your career, Cancer. Very serious full moon. So who are you in your career? How does your career contribute to who you are? Are you happy in the career that you're working in? And this is a job energy too. This is all about your long-term goals and your ambitions. The card that comes out for you is this beautiful 30. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck, and I'm only saying that because it's one of the pictures on the back. So that's the whole reason why I got this deck. So I'm really excited to read this card for you, Cancer. We've got the moon there, some watery energy. So we'll see what it is, Cancer. I bet it's going to be so perfect for you. And this is the number 30. And it's the pool of moonlight, Cancer. You guys are ruled by the moon, so this is already really looking symbolic. So let's read about the pool of moonlight. The full moon, this is a full moon reading. The full moon shines on a sacred pool as a priestess. Cancer, you're the priestess. Perfect cards coming out for the signs. Within its depths, searching for understanding and inspiration. The quiet beauty of the moonlight on the water provides a mirror of the soul. Seeing yourself as a beloved child of the moon goddess. You are a child of the moon goddess. Literally, this is so perfect for you, Cancer. Messages can be divine from the watery depths, brought forth from the underworld and illuminated by celestial light. Cancer. So this is very, very beautiful message for you. So the meaning of this card is that this is not the time for action. Okay, interesting, Cancer. So this full moon has everything to do with action, but for some reason for you, Cancer, this is not the time for action. Some of you may want to watch my fall equinox video on my YouTube channel because there was a lot of waiting energy in the fall equinox video. So this is not the time for action, but rather contemplation. So it's really interesting that Gemini got the card that said the time of contemplation is over, but Gemini had this card on the bottom of the deck. So Cancer, this is time for contemplation. Perhaps doing some contemplating, maybe not taking action towards any career changes right now, even though there's a full moon there influencing beginnings and endings, but just contemplating on your future, right? Contemplating on your long-term goals and your legacy, right? Your career, stuff like that. Stop and think things through. Solitude is important now. Turning out the influences of others so you can reach your own soul. Such a beautiful message for you, Cancer. So if some of you guys are feeling kind of down about this message, the message is going to be reversed. So for some of you, you're going to apply to this. Your thoughts are murky and unclear, Cancer, swirling with too much information. Limit your exposure to words and media. Allow silence to fill you. So the key words here, Cancer, are peace, contemplation, and understanding. And the affirmation that you want to say here is, I am in tune with divine inspiration. I am in tune with divine inspiration. The challenge here is, what does the moon want you to know? That's such a beautiful question to ask a Cancer, because the moon is your ruling planet. So what does the moon want you to know? Perhaps you'll be doing some contemplating until the 30th of September, because we have the 30 there. And the number 3 plus 0 is the third house of communication. So lots of thoughts. So yeah, this is about you contemplating about this moon. This moon is, and you know, every full moon affects Cancer in a different way because you guys are ruled by the moon. So this moon is really just putting you in your own element, I guess, and allowing you to contemplate instead of take action. That's Cancer for you. So the pool of moonlight, I just love this message for you. It talks about priestesses. It talks about the quiet beauty of the moonlight and the water that your emotions provide a mirror for you, Cancer. The moon provides a mirror to your soul. So you're seeing yourself as the beloved child of the moon goddess. Beautiful, beautiful message there. So hopefully that helped you guys. I think that's beautiful. And we're going to move on to Leo. So Leo, you're a fire sign. You're going to be feeling this just like Sagittarius and Aries, because you are also fire, but you're fixed fire. Okay, so you're going to have to stabilize this energy for yourself. It shouldn't be a problem though, because this is in a very interesting area for you, Leo. This is your 9th house. Look, it's on the bottom of the deck, the same card that came out for Cancer. The card that is for you fell on the ground, and it's the card 32. All right, I'm pretty sure this is like a mothering card, but this full moon is all about your ninth house of philosophy. This is about something that you're learning or teaching, Leo. Maybe some of you guys are in school. There could be certain completions going on with your education. This is long distance travel. So if any of you guys are long distance traveling around this time, for sure, this could definitely mean the full moon could definitely access this. So we're looking for the card 32. So we'll read this card first, Leo, before we get... So this is something that you're learning. I think this energy, Leo, just to channel a little bit for you, this would be a great time for you to learn more about yourself. This is like a great time to express yourself and to expand yourself. So self-expansion, self-expression coming up here for you. But I think there's going to be a lot here that is expanded for you. You're going to really learn. This is a philosopher energy. So maybe you're becoming your philosopher self, where you're just really learning. You could kind of take the place of a student with this energy and allow yourself to learn more about who you truly are. You can be a student of your higher self, if that makes sense. But we have the mare coming up here. We've got this baby horse and this mother horse. So a gentle mare nurtures her foal, protecting it as it learns to stand on its own and explore the wide world. Wow. The mare symbolizes unconditional love, the tenderness of the great goddess for all her children. There is nothing stronger or more enduring than mother love. Perfect card for you, Leo, already, because you guys are the children of the zodiac. You're the divine children. And this is talking about learning already. So what you're doing is learning to stand on your own, Leo, and you're also exploring. Explore and learn are both words to the ninth house. So these cards are really resonating. And so this is talking about a mother's love. So if any of you guys have children, or if you're, bonding with mother figures or anything like that, unconditional love is coming up here, which leads me to think of a mother and her son, or her mother and her daughter, but also unconditional love, and Leo, you are ruled by the heart. So this is about unconditional love for you. You're going to be learning more about what unconditional love truly is. The meaning of this card is to give yourself without reservation to those you love and receive their love in return. Such freely given love is nourishing and sustaining to all your endeavors. It is safe to open your heart. Leo, this is speaking to you. So for those of you who are feeling afraid to open your heart, your fears of being abandoned or unloved may have some basis in reality. But take care to separate nightmare from reality. So you need to separate nightmares from reality. Some of you guys are just afraid of being abandoned. Leo, this is great to come up. I want all the Leos listening to me to really reflect on that. Reflect on the fears you have of abandonment. Because as the child of the zodiac and being ruled by the heart, Leo has knowledge of unconditional love because you're ruled by the heart and you're ruled by the sun. So there's just certain awareness that you guys have of the heart. And, it can definitely, fear of abandonment can definitely hinder our connections with unconditional love. So the key words here are nurturing, nourishment, and protection. So maybe you're learning more about that. Maybe you're learning more about your children or about your parents. So the affirmation that you need to say, Leo, is I give my whole heart in tender love. This is such a perfect Leo card. I give my whole heart in tender love. But the challenge here, Leo, is what part of you aches to be loved? So if you figure out why you're afraid, where your abandonment issues stem from, then you'll figure out what part of you aches to be loved. What part of you aches to be loved and why? Because this has everything to do with what you're learning about yourself, Leo. So perfect. This is the card number 32. 3 plus 2 is 5. Guess what, Leo? You're the 5th house. So that was a perfect card for you guys to come out, and I really hope that resonates, especially for you parental Leos. So now we're going to move on to Virgo. Virgo, Aries is your 8th house. So 8th house full moons are pretty interesting. The 8th house is not used to having any light in it. The 8th house is hidden. The 8th house is the 8th house of secrets. So some of you guys could definitely be becoming aware of secrets. Things that are hidden can definitely be exposed right now while the light of the moon is in your 8th house of Aries. So this is about who you hide, parts of yourself that you hide, Virgo. Parts of yourself that you hide. This is your secret self, a secret identity. Parts of yourself that you hide. Your intimate self, Virgo. This is about the most intimate parts of you. So let's see what message comes out for Virgo for this 8th house Aries full moon in September 2018. Aries full moon for Virgo, September 2018. Okay, so you also have the fates on the, the bottom of the deck, like Aries did. And look at this, Virgo. You guys have the number 12 card, and this is literally the autumn equinox card. So Virgo, perfect card for you guys because you guys are the wheat bearers. Virgo is the season that brings in the fall harvest. So we just got out of Virgo season, and the fall equinox happens literally a day after Virgo season. Okay, so you got the fall equinox for your reading. So this is really awesome. This is the number 12. So this is a completion for sure. The number 12 is about a completion, but it's also spiritual. So it's like a spiritual harvest. And what we call this in Wiccan is the Maban. So this is the autumn equinox. It brings balance and this literally was yesterday. So maybe yesterday, maybe there was something important, some interesting changes that happened for you, Virgo, on September 22nd, yesterday, or a couple days ago, I guess. So the fall equinox brings balance as night and day are both equal length. And the descent into the darkness now begins. Virgo, you represent the last house of the first half of the zodiac. When we get to Libra, we're into the second half of the zodiac wheel. It's the dark half. So the descent into the darkness now begins. The harvest feast, Virgo, you are all about harvesting. The harvest feast celebrates the richness of summer's bounty and holds the message of preservation for the colder months to come. Apples, pears, pumpkins, the sweetest of wine, all speak of the abundance of the earth. Abundance of the earth, Virgo. This is a time of sharing, caring for those who are in need, and giving thanks. So the meaning of this card, Virgo, is that it is time to count your blessings and be aware of how abundant your life truly is. Open your eyes to those who are less fortunate than you and offer what you can to help. Trust that there will be enough for everyone. You can afford to be generous with your time, energy, and resources. And Virgo, you guys are a very giving sign. So for those of you who apply to the reverse messages, it talks about poverty. Poverty consciousness sees only lack. So you want to be careful of a poverty consciousness for you Virgos out there who are very worried about money and worried about poverty, worried about lack of funds. You guys are abundant angels. So be careful of having that poverty-based consciousness. It only breeds lack and worry and stress. So those are all Virgo words: lack, worry, stress, about prosperity. Let go of those fears by giving thanks for what you have right now. So the key words with this card Virgo is abundance, harvest, and gratitude. And the affirmation you need to say is, I have everything I need. I have everything I need. But the challenge here, Virgo, is how are you going to share your bounty with others? Perfect card to come out for you, Virgo. You guys are the harvesting sign. You're the wheat bearer. So this is definitely about your abundance, and this is like hidden abundance, right? This may be linked to certain secrets that are coming to completions with you, but I feel like this is about your abundant self, right? Because we have to mix these energies together, the 8th house with the 1st house and the card that we just got. So this is about you remaining abundant, knowing that you yourself are abundant, and that you don't have no need to worry about lack of funds or lack of anything because you're blessed, right? So it's a time to be grateful. You got the fall equinox. So this Aries full moon is bringing in the fall equinox, balance between light and dark. So let's move on to Libra, which is the opposite sign of Aries. So this is happening in your 7th house of relationships, Libra, which is the house that you rule. Happy birthday, by the way, guys. You're going through your solar returns. Aries is a very opposing energy. So the moon is going to be opposing you, Libra. So certain compromises coming up, especially in your relationships. This has to do with balance for you guys. Okay, it has to do with balance in your relationships. It has to do with who you are in your relationships, Libra. Who are you in your relationships? And we have the Raven. So I'm pretty sure this is the death card. It's the number 23. So I'm not sure if that number means anything to you guys, but your happiness is coming up here because the number 5, 2 plus 3, resonates with happiness. So we do have the Raven, right? Reminds me of that Edgar Allan Poe poem. So let's read here. So this is a sacred bird of death. This is like the death card. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio, I'm not sure. Sacred bird of death and endings. The raven brings the message of time passing. The leaves fall, the nest is empty, and there comes a season for contemplation of loss. So you could be contemplating something you lost, Libra. And since this is a 7th house full moon, maybe some of you guys are losing certain things in relationships, losing balance. This talks about the leaves falling, which is fall. We just had the fall equinox. So this is a time everything is dying, Libra. So if there's certain deaths in our relationships or deaths to situations in our life, it's just basically following Mother Nature's order, because the leaves are dying right now. There are animals going into hibernation. Everything dries up and gets cold around this time and dies, and well, it transforms is the right word to say. So the raven's wisdom is that all things must pass. So this too shall pass, Libra. Clinging to the present is useless. Understanding the cycles of life make acceptance and change easier to bear, as well as masking each moment precious as it passes. So I'm not sure if any of you guys are dealing with death or endings. It could be literal death, but this is more of a spiritual death. Anytime anything ends, there's kind of a metaphorical death there to be considered. So the meaning here, Libra, is that there is a time for grieving, and to deny it is to prolong it. So the more you deny, I know you're an air sign, right? And air signs intellectually process emotion. Some of you guys really need to grieve the loss of something with this full moon. Perhaps it's the death to certain parts of yourself, right? So if you deny yourself of the grieving process, it'll only prolong it. So find a safe time and a space to mourn your losses. Libra, there could just be lots of things that have happened to you over the last year where, you just kind of handled it mentally, but you haven't allowed yourself to really emotionally process. You're still a human being, Libra. I know you're going through your birthday and everything like that, and birthdays can be kind of distracting. But, I feel like there's just something in all your guys' life where you just need to find a safe space, like this book is saying, and just allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to mourn your losses. Anything that you've lost in your life, Libra. This is the raven here. Rise above them, and the raven flies, and see the bigger picture. For blessings, many accompany loss. Wow. So here's the reversed. Humor helps you gain a sense of perspective. Don't take yourself or the situation too seriously. Seek out reasons to laugh and smile. Okay, so there's some heavy energy coming up here, Libra. Some of you guys just need to laugh and smile a bit more. But there you are dealing with death and transformation and rebirth. The raven, okay? Caw, caw. So the key words here, Libra, are endings, cycles, and grief. So you guys could be feeling a bit sad or a little bit more depressed about some of the endings that this full moon is going to bring up for you. I mean, this is what happens when we're dealing with oppositions, right? Compromises. Aries opposes you, Libra. They're your polar opposite. So this full moon is going to bring up a lot of things, and you know where it's going to bring it up at, Libra? Your relationships. So endings, cycles of relationships, cycles of self. There's just, full moons bring endings and beginnings. And for you, Libra, this is what this is exactly talking about. And it's grief about those endings. So what you want to say here, Libra, is that I accept the lesson of change. I accept the lesson of change, because that's all this is. That's all death tries to teach us, is a huge lesson that nothing lasts forever, and that there's a time to live and there's a time to die. So the challenge here, Libra, is how has sorrow served you? So, you're a balanced sign, Libra. You're all about taking the good with the bad and the balancing out both equal opportunities. So if you guys are feeling a little bit sad deep inside around this time, then you want to ask yourself what this grief has taught you. What has sorrow served? How has sorrow served you? What can you learn in your time of sadness, Libra? So this is going to be a little interesting of a full moon for you guys, and I'm sending you guys the best energy. I have all the faith in you that you'll be able to balance this out. Scorpio. Let's see what's going on for Scorpio. This is your 6th house, Scorpio, of health. Aries is your 6th house of health, your 6th house of lifestyle, your 6th house of your routine, your daily routine, how you can be of service to other people. So there may be certain endings and completions centered around the ways that you're being of service. Like you may never be of service to certain people again because of this energy. And we have this 33 card and this black cat card at the bottom of the deck there, number 19. So this is the card that came out. It's a 33. It looks like some kind of harp. It looks beautiful. We got some water back there, Scorpio. So 6th house, health, lifestyle, routine. But this is the number 33. So let's see what this card is all about. It is the harp. So this is, I love harps. They sound so beautiful. So I think this is one of the last cards, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. So the harp is the instrument of the bards, keeper of the ancient tales of wonder and magic. The word bard gets its meaning from to raise the voice in praise, and their song of heroism, gallantry, and cleverness have inspired listeners for centuries. The harp symbolizes the acknowledgement of great deeds, setting a fine example, and encouraging excellence in others. This is an interesting card. So the meaning here is bless the people you admire with generous words of gratitude and sing their praises to others. Accept praise that is given to you as well with humility and gratefulness. Let it feed your soul and inspire you to further glory. For those of you who aren't feeling that energy, you may be feeling that your own song is not being heard and that you need more recognition for your gifts. So some of you guys are musicians. If any of you guys are in the music industry or anything like that, this harp is talking a lot about music, and you're feeling like your song, this is a metaphor. Some of you guys just feel like you're not being heard or recognized. So don't be afraid to sing out, Scorpio. Sing out. So the key word here is praise, excellence, and admiration. Some of you guys are really seeking admiration for your beauty and for your excellence, and you're seeking praise, Scorpio. You're going to be praising others, and others are going to be praising you. So the thing that the affirmation you want to say is, I accept praise and I give it freely in return. I accept praise and give it freely in return. But the challenge here is, how do you pursue your personal excellence? So I think Scorpio is just trying to basically precise something. They're trying to examine something and they're trying to, what is the word? Critique something in a way of excellence. So this is an interesting card. I'm actually going to channel from it, Scorpio. I just feel like I hear a beautiful tune, right? We have this 33. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is the house that this full moon is happening into. So perhaps it's like I hear the ending to a song, right? Like the start of a song and the ending to a song. So some of you guys want to look up harp music on YouTube. I'm going to do that after this video. It's been a while since I've heard a harp, but it's very meditative and it's very calming and peaceful. But this card talks a lot about praise and stuff like that. So I think some of you guys are just feeling like not appreciated. Like maybe you guys have been praising other people so like a lot, and then maybe not getting any praise in return for the things that you've accomplished. If you're a musician, Scorpio, if you have anything to do with music, this is definitely a message for you, because you do have your own song, Scorpio. So I want you guys to think about what your song would be titled, right? Because this is all about you and how, like, this is the first house of self, right? So obviously Scorpio is not getting enough praise, and that might be why a lot of Scorpios have reached out to me lately, because you guys are just feeling like people aren't grateful for you. But you are a song that everyone has heard, Scorpio, but not everyone can listen to. So if you're not feeling heard, you might want to switch up the lyrics, right? I'm hearing there's a lot of metaphors here with music, like the lyrics to who you are. Some of you guys might want to use this full moon energy to write new music or to write a song about yourself, because this is about you. And this is about your lifestyle. So I think you guys have been living your life for other people, and now it's time to hit shuffle on the iPad, you know what I mean, or on iTunes, and start playing the songs that you want to hear. Start listening to the music that you want to hear, taking control of your life and your passions. And you know, I also feel that metaphor where it says before you learn the dance, or before you change the move of the dance, learn the moves first, or something like that. So lots of song metaphors coming up for you, Scorpio, and a very divine number of 33. So if you see the number 33, just know that you're in tune with your spirit guides, and this is about certain music. Some of you guys just need to listen to music, but I really do suggest you looking up harp music, because while you guys listen to that harp music on YouTube, there's going to be something that you come to fruition about, like you're going to learn something, or maybe there's just going to be some sort of download that happens. But this is your 6th house, so it's like, how can you add music to your lifestyle, right? How can you change the song and change the lyrics to your own life, right? Are you just kind of dancing on your own, Scorpio? Because it takes 2 to tango, right? So hopefully that helps, Scorpio. We're going to move into Sagittarius energy, which is another fire sign. So you're going to be feeling this Aries full moon for sure. You're going to be feeling that energy, just like Leo, just like Aries. So this is your 5th house, Sagittarius. This is a pretty awesome space to have a full moon in, because the 5th house is all about pleasure and romance and creativity. So what a great full moon for you guys. So this is about you focusing on romance, even soulmates. The 5th house is even the house of children. So either you are a child, or maybe you're a Sagittarius watching who has a child. This full moon is going to bring certain beginnings and completions to that energy too. So let's see what the full moon in Aries message is for Sagittarius. What do they need to know? So this is about your creative self, Sagittarius. We have Samhain, that same card that Taurus got. And the card that came out for you guys, whoa, pretty sure this is the summer solstice card. This is the card number 10. So this is definitely something that's completing for you, Sagittarius. This full moon is a completion. It's bringing things to ends so that new things can start. But that is the summer solstice, which actually happens at the tail end. I know a few Sagittarius is born on December 21st, which is the summer solstice. So yeah, that's gonna, if any Sagittarius are watching that were born on the summer solstice, this message is definitely for you. Very, very interesting message there. So the summer solstice was back in June. Yeah, I was definitely just interpreting that wrong. This is the summer solstice, not the winter solstice. Some of you guys could be born on the winter solstice. The summer solstice, it happens in your opposite season. It happens when the sun is at 0 degrees Cancer. So sorry about that, guys, but I do know some Sagittarius that are born on the solstices. So we got some solstice energy coming up. And this is the number 10. So lots of fire here, Sag. I definitely see that you're going to be feeling this fire. We got some sunflowers, maybe some Leo energy. So let's read what this card is called. Litha. This card is called Litha. And it's the midsummer, the summer solstice. Maybe some of you guys know people who were born on the summer solstice. I'm not sure. So let's see, the summer solstice, when the sun's power is at its height, bonfires are lit to celebrate the shortest night of Midsummer's Eve. This is the time of the growth peak, and it's the longest summer days warm on Earth. It is time for magical potency, drawing down the radiant strength of the sun to empower the undertaking. So the meaning of this card, Sagittarius, is to take advantage of this time of empowerment to do work that will advance your goals, both magical and mundane. So doing magical things, Sagittarius, and mundane things. Your personal charisma is strong, and your fiery warmth will attract others, Sagittarius. Your fiery warmth. Let's see. Community connections thrive as you share common ideas. So in the reverse, someone or something has been dampening your inner fire. So for those Sagittarius out there who feel like there are people, places, and things around you that have been dampening your fire, putting out your flame, look for its cause. Look for the cause of this energy and work to remove the barriers so you can empower yourself. So the key words here are power, radiance, and longevity. One of my favorite words. Power, radiance, and longevity. What you want to say as the affirmation, Sagittarius: I am filled with radiant and joyful power. This is such a good message for you because you are joyful, you are fiery, right? So you are filled. I am, which is the house of Aries. I am filled with radiant and joyful power. For those who are watching, if you write that down, Sagittarius, and if you burn it tonight under the full moon, something magical will happen in your life. Something will complete. So for those of you who are interested in writing down, I am filled with radiant and joyful power, and lighting that on fire, boom, there's going to be something that happens for you. But the challenge here, Sagittarius, is what is your greatest strength? And it's interesting, you're going through the 5th house energy, which is the house of Leo, which it would be strength. So I think you're just really, this is about radiance for you, Sag. It's very positive. Hopefully you guys related to that energy. And we're going to move to Capricorn, another cardinal energy. You're going to be feeling this, Capricorn, because Aries is a cardinal energy. But you're an earth sign. So this is about grounding the passion that you're discovering about yourself. This is happening in your 4th house, Cap. Okay, so this is interesting. The 4th house squares you. So Aries and Capricorn square each other on the zodiac wheel. And, you know, squares are just not the most positive aspects in astrology. You know, these two energies fight to express themselves. Have you ever been in the same room with an Aries and a Capricorn? You know, they can either be the best of friends or there's a real power struggle there. So there may be some things that you need to compromise emotionally at this time, Capricorn, because this is all about compromising. This is all about meeting halfway in the middle. So for you, this is about your emotional self, Capricorn, your fourth house of home. This has everything to do with where you live, Capricorn. So there could be some new beginnings and completions that are inspired by this full moon, where you live, your family life, your roots, okay? Some of you guys could really be moving around this time, changing locations, or just maybe changing things within your home. You know, this could be just people moving in with you, people moving out, changing around the scenery, moving around. Maybe some of you guys will be inspired to move the furniture around in your homes. But this has everything to do with your emotional foundation, okay? Your family and your home life. So let's see what the Aries full moon message is for Capricorn. And this is a kind of a tough energy because it squares you. So there could be some pretty tough emotions that come up around this full moon about your house and about your home. And there might be family troubles or things you have to compromise with in your family, just arguments. Just be very careful, because you guys could be feeling very emotional around this time because this moon squares you guys. So maybe there's some power struggles in your guys' homes right now. Maybe there's some power struggles in your family life, or maybe even in your emotion, okay? So, wow, Capricorn. We have the same card for Taurus. So there could be some Taurus Capricorn energy going on here, but this is the Halloween card. So for you and Taurus, there's something significant happening next month on the end. So we're going to read this again for those of you who are clicking on the messages. This is the card of Samhain, right? And Samhain was a spirit on Halloween. And that's why we leave out treats and stuff like that. Because Samhain, I mean, you guys might want to research Samhain, but it's some sort of, I don't know if it's a demonic force or if it's some kind of dark force that comes out on Halloween. You know, Halloween is the night that the dead can walk the earth. This is the night where the veil is very thin. So Capricorn, this is about your home and your family. So let's see how we can see how that relates to your home. So Samhain, October 31st, is the Celtic cross quarter holy day that welcomes the beginning of winter. So there's something here about welcoming the beginning of winter. Maybe you guys are moving because winter is about to start. It is a time when the veil is thin between the worlds of the seen and the unseen. The ancestors and spirits of the dead are honored. And this is about your roots, Capricorn, so that would be your ancestors. Their wisdom and messages are sought. Jack-o'-lanterns are light the path for those who travel through the veil and protect against any evil or mischievous spirits that might also be abroad. So the meaning here, Capricorn, is that the ancestors are offering you guidance. Watch for unexpected messages in your dreams, chance encounters with strangers, or voices that whisper on the wind. You have nothing to fear in the dark, Capricorn. So for some of you, you need to hear that something has spooked you. So if there's anything that you're afraid of lately or that you're kind of spooked about, perhaps on a subconscious level, do an inner journey to find protective ancestors to help you interpret your fears. The key word here is mystery, ancestors, and deepening, right? And you want to say this affirmation: I embody the wisdom of my ancestors. So this might have more to do with your roots than it does your home, Capricorn. Maybe you're just really, really wanting to spend more time with family. Maybe you're really wanting to relocate so that you can be around your ancestor energy, right? So you can be around family. So the challenge here, which you appreciate, Capricorn, is what do the spirits of the dead require of you? So you could be getting visitations from dead family members, Capricorn. So if you have any dreams or weird energies like, was that my grandpa? Like, did I just smell my grandpa? Like, yeah. Your ancestors are going to be contacting you around this time, Capricorn, and they're surrounding you and guiding you through times of worry and fear and scare. So it can spook you guys out. Some of you guys may really be contacting certain spirits around this time, especially around Halloween. So maybe that's why the emotion is coming in. So I don't know, Capricorn. Hopefully that message helps. Just know that this can kind of manifest through your family, it can manifest through your ancestors, through your roots, and it can manifest through your emotions and through your home. This is the fourth house for you guys. So, all right, let's move to Aquarius. Aquarius, this is your third house of communication. So this full moon is all about communicating. So how does the way you communicate further express the kind of person you are? So what do I mean by that? The way we talk to other people, the way we talk to ourselves even, I don't know about you, but I can tell a lot about a person just based off of the way that they talk, you know. And it's not that I'm judging them, it's just I can tell the way that people speak to other people, if they're rude, if they're kind, if they're humble, if they're respectful, if they're mature. So this is about your communication, Aquarius. You may be communicating at a more passionate level, and we have this in common, Aquarius. I also have third house Aries in my birth chart. So this is endings to certain communication. Maybe you're not going to communicate with certain people anymore. We have the same card that was here for Cancer, right? What was it? The pool of moonlight. So there might be some Cancer energy there, just how Capricorn and Taurus were kind of teaming up, and how I'm pretty sure, nope, no one teamed up with Virgo yet. But anyway, Aquarius, this has to do with the way that you speak, the way that you think, your lower mind, right? So you want to really fill your lower mind up with passion. Now keep in mind, this has to do with who you are, right? So maybe you guys are going to start communicating more about who you are, or who you no longer are, or who you want to be. You're going to be communicating about these passionate changes and communicating from a higher level of self. Wow, and we do have this card coming out again. This is the card that I just read for Capricorn and the card that I just read for Taurus. So I'm going to read it again for you. It's the card number 13. It is the Samhain energy. So for some reason, this Aries full moon is bringing in Halloween. Libra season, right? We're in Libra season. Halloween happens in Scorpio season, though. So guys, October 31st is coming up for Taurus, Aquarius, and Capricorn, okay? So here we go, Aquarius. We'll see what this means to you guys as far as maybe on the 13th of October or on the 31st of October, you're going to be doing some traveling. So this is talking about Samhain, right? You guys might want to do some research about Samhain, but this is the Celtic cross-quarter holy day that welcomes the beginning of winter. It is a time when the veil is thin between the worlds of the seen and the unseen. The ancestors and spirits of the dead are honored. Their wisdom and messages are sought. Jack-o'-lanterns light the path for those who travel through the veil and protect against any evil or mischievous spirits that might also be abroad. So the meaning of this card, Aquarius, is that the ancestors are offering guidance. Watch for unexpected messages in your dreams, chance encounters with strangers, or voices whispered on the wind. You have nothing to fear in the dark. Something has spooked you, perhaps on a subconscious level. Do an inner journey to find protective ancestors to help you interpret your fears. So this is a card of mystery and ancestors and deepening, Aquarius. And the affirmation here is, I embody the wisdom of my ancestors, okay? The challenge here is, what do the spirits of the dead require of you? So just like I was telling Capricorn, you guys could be contacting maybe there's spirits of the dead. Some of you guys may be mediums. Maybe you're dreaming about people who are dead. If any of you guys have dreams about people who are dead around this Aries full moon, then I would say that's significant, especially because this Samhain card is come up for Capricorn, Aquarius, and Taurus. So if you're dealing with a Capricorn or a Taurus or another Aquarius, you guys' energy are significant and they're linked somehow, okay? Also, there's something here about Halloween time, okay? There's something here about the fall time and about Samhain celebration. So you guys might want to do your own research there, but this is relating to your third house of communication, okay? And this is relating to who you're gonna be for Halloween. You know, like, who are you gonna be around the time of Halloween? This is the time where we dress up and we disguise ourselves. But for you, Aquarius, this is about knowing who you are and changing something coming to the end, something coming to an end, so that something else can begin before Halloween time. Okay. So hopefully that helped, Aquarius. We're gonna move on to the last sign, Pisces. So Pisces, you had your full moon last month, and thank goodness, you know, even though the moon has moved from Pisces since then, we have technically been feeling our full moon energy all month long until finally this Aries full moon is going to come in and kind of subside that energy. So we've been going through it, Pisces, right? It's finally Libra season, and this energy is in our second house of finances, and we have a very interesting card. I have no idea. I don't think I've ever even seen this card, but it's the card 27. So maybe in a few days, on September 27th, there might be something that comes to an end or a beginning. Maybe October 27th. Maybe just 7 plus 2, which is 9. Maybe we're learning something. So this is our second house of finances, Pisces. I know we're not too huge on energies like that, but this Aries full moon is all about how we can express ourselves through our resources, right? How can we extend who we are when it comes to our finances, our job, our resources, our money, you know, anything that we say is ours is technically belongs to the second house of resources and value. You know, this is about valuing ourselves, Pisces. This is about valuing our resources and, you know, keeping our resources to ourselves. And there's going to be certain things that come to completions and new beginnings. So anything that changes financially around this time, anything that comes to a completion with a job or anything like that, anything like maybe there's certain resources. Now this is new resources coming in, old resources kind of cycling out. So just keep that in mind. Let's get into this card here and see what's going on. So this is the Fox card. As sly as a fox. We've got a fox coming up here, Pisces. Swiper, no swiping, right? Maybe there's people who have been taking our finances, taking certain resources, kind of feeding off of us, and this is like, swiper, no swiping. That's something they would say on Dora when they wouldn't want swiper to like steal, right? So we got to be really careful of people stealing our worth, our value, stealing our abundance away, okay? But let's look here. I've never read this card, Pisces, so it's pretty accurate to come up for us because we always throw people for a loop, right? So, folk tales of Fox speak of cunning, cleverness, and great skill in survival. These qualities are needed on the path of Wicca as well. The fox symbolizes the ability to be self-sufficient, to move with discretion, and to act swiftly when the time is right, Pisces. So we're acting swiftly around this full moon. I love that it said self-sufficient because Aries is all about self. Pisces, this is our second house. So this is about kind of like a magician energy. I'm feeling like a magician energy with this. Even when it says like kind of like a slick and sly, the magician can be like that. The magician also knows that he has all the tools he needs, all the elements, right? So yeah, self-sufficient, Pisces. We have everything we need. We just have to stop letting people be sly and kind of, you know, take us for granted. So the meaning is that there are opportunities for gain. Second house, baby. But do not be tempted to act in an unethical or dishonest manner. Use your intelligence to find the best way to achieve your goal without cheating or taking advantage of the weak. Wow, Pisces. I know this is telling us not to do this, but I think sometimes the universe moves through Pisces. So Pisces move hand in hand with the universe. So we're being told this because other people are doing it to us, right? That's how we are. So yeah, there are opportunities to gain, but do not be tempted to act unethical. So be honest, Pisces. Use your intelligence to find the best way to achieve any goals that you have, and without cheating or taking advantage of the weak. So beware of sneaky, here it is, Pisces, beware of sneaky or deceitful behavior in others and do not leave yourself vulnerable to it. So if there's anything that you know we have intuition, Pisces. So if you think someone's sneaking around, or if you've been thinking something lately, especially this close to an Aries full moon, your intuition is right. Do not allow yourself to be vulnerable. This is all about our second house. So there's just certain things that are coming to completions and endings about our resources. So this could be the ending to codependency with another person. Like if you've been really worried about your own finances or your own resources or just having your own, you know, there's just some snakes in the garden and we have to be very careful, all right? And that's why we're being very cunning. That's why we're being very clever right now, Pisces. And we have great skills right now of survival. So the key words here are cunning, strategy, and ethics. So we need to come up with a strategy, Pisces, a cunning strategy that is basically foolproof. And what we want to say here, the affirmation we need to say, Pisces, is I use my powers for good. I use my powers for good. But the challenge here is, where are your ethics in question? Where are your ethics in question? So to me, that's a little odd of a question. Also, if any of you guys see foxes on TV or pictures, that's a spirit guide animal. We're being guided right now by foxes. This guy looks kind of pissed. And then we have these geese back here. 5 of them. So we want to be very careful because for some of us, we are these birds back here, and this fox is a person in our life, person, place, or thing in our life. Okay, just be very careful of cheating, sneaky energy. Okay, where are your ethics being questioned? So when something is questioned, it's being ethics, code of ethics. So ethics to me, I feel I'm actually going to be that girl right now and look up what ethics means so that I can have a better idea of this. Code of ethics. So ethics are our moral principles that govern a person's behavior. Or so Pisces, what are your principles, right? What are your moral principles, especially when it comes to your finances and your resources, right? So what is that? These principles govern our behavior and our activity, right? So it's morality, right? Our values, our rights, our principles. This is literally our ethics is basically another word for the second house. So where are they being questioned? Where are they being questioned? Like, so basically, where is the fox? We need to get these foxes up out of our wallets and up out of our life, basically. So hopefully that helped, Pisces. Lots of new beginnings. For some of you guys, you're just going to be getting very clever about certain things. And that's going to bring the passionate endings to stuff, okay? So I do want to get a card for the collective. Just as a last message here. So what is the Aries full moon message for all of us? What is the collective Aries full moon message for all the 12 signs combined? What is the last card for this Aries full moon? Advice, guidance. Wow. And we have the portal card. This is the card of a portal. So this full moon is actually a portal, you guys, which means that there's certain energy opening up, certain opportunities that couldn't happen until this Aries full moon. So you guys are going to be, well, me too. We're all going to be really surprised at how quickly life starts to change, okay? Because we're entering a portal of energy from now until the new moon in Libra. So this is the number 15. And this is talking about the portal to the other world. This is a place where what is known intersects what is unknown. So the unknown and the known, which is basically the sun and the moon, are colliding, guys. The essence of Wicca is a belief in the mystery that lies beyond and beneath the mundane. Having the courage to venture through the portal and wander in the realms of the mystery is the mark of a true practitioner of the magical arts. So some of us are going to be brave enough to use this Aries full moon to literally walk into a portal, into a whole nother world, right? When we change ourselves, things change after that, right? Why do you think Aries is the first sign? We have to know who we are before anything else can happen. So the meaning here is to release any resistance that you may have to the unknown and the unseen. Like, quit resisting what you don't know and instead embrace it. Don't cling to what you thought you knew to be true. Guys, don't cling to who you thought you were, because everything is different now, and it's time to really open ourselves up to a completely new sense of self, which means open yourself up to a completely new world. Open to new possibilities. You are ready to make profound changes and move forward to the next stage of your spiritual development. So some of you guys need to hear that this could also mean that a door has closed, perhaps temporarily. So the portals, the funny thing about portals is that they're either an opening or a closing. So for some of us, there's a door that has closed, and we're going to know if this door is closed because we're going to try to go certain places, we're going to try to do certain things, and it's just not going to happen. So that is an energetic closed door. So perhaps this door is closed temporarily, maybe it's closed permanently. Do not attempt to force your way through, but look for a more welcoming way, okay? So if there's something that you're trying to pursue, somewhere that you're trying to go with this Aries energy, be careful of trying to force, because that's a shadow Aries thing. Low vibrational Aries can be very forceful and demanding. So don't let that energy confuse you. Like, if you're being met with resistance, try a different way. What I'm being shown is like somebody who's trying to break into a house in the front when the back door is open. Like, you can come in, but you just can't come in this way, right? So be careful of these portals, because you don't want to, you don't want to teleport to a different area. You might really not like where you're going. Spirit knows what's best for us, okay? So just don't force anything, and look for a more welcoming way. Like, if you're not welcomed into a relationship, if you're not welcomed into a job or into somebody's party, then you're not welcome there. And maybe we need to close the door on other people too. So the key word here is change, mystery, and awakening. So this full moon in Aries is a grand awakening for all of us. It's a portal into a completely different world. Tomorrow, the next 3 days are going to be very insane, guys. So what we all want to say together now is that I walk with courage through the doors of perception. What did I tell you? Aries is all about courage. So I walk with courage through the doors of perception. So this is about being courageous and having the bravery to see things for what they are, right? And to change the way that we see things too. This looks like that this door is like breaking through. This is a breakthrough. So the challenge here, guys, with this Aries full moon is, what do you sense from the other world? So what are you sensing? Because right now we're kind of in the middle, right? We're in the middle of how things were, what things are, and what they're going to be. So, you know, all of us are able to sense certain stuff right now. And because of that, you want to ask yourself what you're sensing from the other side of this portal. What are you sensing? And by the time the moon enters Taurus, and then it goes to Gemini, and then Cancer is going to go through Leo, Virgo, and then it's going to be in Libra. On the, I think the new moon is on the 9th of October. It might be a little bit before that, the 6th, I'm not sure. But early October, there'll be a new moon. The moon will go from full to empty. So right now, the moon is like 99.9% full of light. And it's going to start waning, I think it's called. It's going to start, excuse me, it's going to start losing light the more and more close that it gets to Libra. By the time it reaches Libra, we're not going to be able to see the moon. This is going to be a completely new energy. This is going to be a time to plant more seeds again, okay? So right now, the seeds that we've already planted for the harvest are coming to fruition, right? And so that's what this night is about, you guys. If you can, go out tonight and get a good look at the moon. Use your zodiac message to further guide you to what you should do tonight. If you guys are doing any rituals, I mean, this is the harvest full moon. So this is the time of year where any energy that you put out will be harvested and it will orbit you, okay? So just be very careful what you're working with tonight. And make sure you're doing everything from an authentic place of self, okay? And I just read the message for us all. This is a portal for all of us. It's a chance to perceive things differently and to ask ourselves what the other world is trying to explain to us through this Aries full moon about who we are, okay? So thank you guys for listening. It always means a lot to me. I'm not sure the next time that we'll talk because things are just crazy right now. You know, everything changes. So I'm just going with the flow. I hope all of you guys, I wish all of you guys the best beginnings and completions in your life. Whatever you want to complete, I hope it does. Whatever new beginnings you want, I really hope that if they're aligned with your higher self, that they come to you guys. And I hope by the end of this transit, we all have a better idea and further illumination when it comes to who we are as people. All right, guys, thanks for listening to my Aries full moon message, and I will talk to you guys. I don't know, maybe on the new moon in Libra. Okay, bye.